You share your whole life with somebody and you don't trust them. Why are you there? Why are you hurting yourself? Why are you hurting them? Why are you hurting families? Like, why are you there, bruh? Like, get out. Hello beloved, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. Today I've got something amazing for you. We're going to be talking about why your relationship is breaking apart even though you thought it was a strong one. Usually your personality difference, your personality types, how different you are as people can contribute to that, because as you are a different person, you respond differently in certain situations and certain circumstances. So then you need to manage that. So with your personality types, if you get to do the testing, you know what your personality is. You'd know that there are certain weaknesses that you have that maybe pour negativity into the relationship. So really, it's all about balancing your strengths versus your weaknesses and managing that well so that they don't pour back into the relationship. So we're going to be talking about some of the major weaknesses of different personality types. I won't tell you which personality has what weakness. You can do that research, but I'm going to tell you some of the habits and behaviors that can really contribute to messing up your relationship. The first thing that I want to talk about is being controlling. So when you're controlling, you want to control every outcome, every situation, how somebody responds to you and how they don't respond to you, and how what they say, what they don't say. Sometimes it becomes really, really extreme. And so what you want to do is you want to manage that, because you can't control. You have to look at what are the things that are really in your control and be objective about it, and what are the things that are out of your control. And where you control, the things that you can control, put your energy into that. The things that you can't control, maybe things that you can influence, limit your energy there. And things that you can't control, just detach yourself from the things that you cannot control, because you're going to get hurt. That's if you have an issue with being controlling. So what I would advise is take your time in a situation, breathe and think about, should I even be controlling this? And why should I be controlling this? And why can't I trust my partner enough to just handle this situation? And why can't I trust how they respond to me? Because they are the person, they are their own person in their own right. And they, because of that, they will respond differently. So I need to be able to understand that. So once we understand that, we'll be able to have healthier relationships. I don't necessarily control my partner and what they say and how they do things, and I allow them to self-actualize as an individual. And once somebody feels free to be themselves without being controlled, they have more space and more free time. They've got more time to invest into the relationship with who they really are, because there's a reason why the two of you are together. And if you suppress whatever that person is, it's going to take away from your relationship, and you don't want to do that. So controlling does actually more harm than it does good. And even if you think that the person you can't trust the person to perform a certain task or a certain duty or be a certain person to you, then you've got no business being with them. Yeah, I said it. Another thing is, so you don't want to be the person that says, oh my gosh, it's my way or it's the highway. Then there's no need for you to be in a relationship, because a relationship is a two-way thing. You relate, and it's two people that are supposed to accomplish one common purpose. So if you're busy controlling the outcome of somebody else, you actually don't even have time to focus on building your strengths or managing your weaknesses, so that you also don't become toxic to the relationship, because we all have issues to work on. So don't be controlling, manage it so that you can have a healthier relationship. Another thing is also disrespect. Disrespect is a big thing, and we often overlook it. And I've heard so many people say, oh, I'm a feminist, and in this generation, oh, we're equal partners, and I say what I say and you say what I say. Fine, all good and well, you've got your beliefs, I respect that. But here's the thing. Every human being was born with a need for respect. More men have this need for just respect me. And respect doesn't mean bow down, worship me, all of that stuff. Respect simply just means I honor the person that you are. I respect what you stand for. I honor the integrity that you have inside of you, and I cannot undermine that. Respect is really the opposite of undermining somebody. So disrespect can come in so many ways, even tone, the way you speak to somebody, the way you address somebody. So if something upsets you and you're like, oh, you're so useless, or oh, who do you think you are, and all of that stuff, it's going to add disrespect into the relationship. And when you add disrespect into the relationship, the response that you will get is not a healthy response, and that is why your relationship is probably breaking apart. Because it's not one thing that can cause a relationship to break out, it's several things that cause cracks, and then eventually the relationship can break up. So speak with a respectful tone to your partner, man or woman. Speak if you're a man or if you're a woman, speak to with a respectful tone to your partner. Let them know that you respect them, because if someone feels disrespected, they're going to move away from you. It's got a repelling effect. Like if somebody disrespects me, there is absolutely no way that I would enjoy spending time with them, or that I would enjoy being in their company. So we need to look at what does respect mean to you. Have an objective mindset. So issues like tone, issues like how you address them. Like, how do you address them? Even in public, how do you address them? Even in person, how do you address them? Is there a certain way that you address each other? Have you agreed on something? It's really issues to look into. This seems like a small thing, but it can spiral out of control. It can cause a lot of cracks, and then your relationship can fall apart, and it'll be very difficult to bring that back together. You'd rather fix it, or you'd rather maintain it and manage it now before we have to come to a place of putting it back together. So respect is a major thing and a major player. Like, we need to respect each other's opinions. If we don't respect each other's opinions in a relationship, we're not going to have a mature relationship. We're not going to come to a place where we can agree to disagree. And that is essentially an issue, because every relationship, because there are two people involved, you're definitely going to disagree. So if you disagree and you already don't have respect for one another, you've got no business being in that relationship, because you're going to hurt each other. You're going to break up families if you're married, and we just don't want to be doing that. So respect each other's opinions, respect each other's careers. Don't look down on somebody else, and don't think that they don't have what it takes, or they don't have anything to bring to the table. Respect each other's arts, respect each other's art, respect each other's dreams, each other's goals. Make sure that you are a supportive person. You don't want to be disrespectful or dismissive. Dismissive is also it also forms part of being disrespectful, because you don't in Afrikaans, they say, "You check mini raki," like you don't acknowledge the place of this person in your life. And when you are in a relationship with someone, so romantic relationships are the closest forms of relationships that we can form willingly with people. And I think it's really important that we invest properly by respecting each other, because when you respect someone, like I said, they're more inclined to draw to you. So if you want to win your man or your woman, make sure that you respect their opinions, because once you respect their opinions, they can bring more. Once you respect their dreams, they can go for it more and bring more to the relationship. Once you respect them as a person, as who they are, their belief system and all of that, you allow them to self-actualize and to grow into better people themselves. Once you disrespect somebody, they pull away from you, and you never know where they'll start investing in. You want them to invest in you and your relationships, and your relationship with each other rather than outside. So another thing is over-communicating. I know you're probably like, over-communicating, is there such a thing? Yes, there is such a thing. There's some things that are better left unsaid, and there's some things that you don't have to always nag about. So if you spoke to somebody about, hey, listen, I don't like it when you leave the light on and not turn it off, when we're not in the room or in wherever we are. You've said it once, right? And then they do it again, and you're like, hey, I don't like it when you leave the light on. This is what happens, right? And they heard it, they've understood, and they start implementing it, right? So there's no reason for you to be like, oh, when you leave the light on, it makes me feel like this. Like, you never listen, you always leave the light on, especially when they're doing the thing that you said that they should be doing. So you are just talking about it over and over and over and over again, and it takes away from it makes someone feel irritated and annoyed, and with feelings of irritation and annoyance, if there's more space for that and less of love, then I don't know. And you need to work on being less overly communicative. You need to be able to communicate when you need to and stop when you don't need to. So once they've heard you and you know that they've heard you, you don't need to continue. It's not necessary. Just know that they've heard you. Like we're all adults. I mean, you should be an adult if you are in this kind of a relationship. So we leave it at that, right? So nagging is a big no. Nagging is a big no. I'm not gonna say that women do it a lot, because men do it too. So you just need to trust that your partner is going to implement what you communicated, and if they can't, they can't, and you're gonna have to figure out how to work it out. But nagging is a big no. Find effective ways of communication. I will see if I can do a video on communicating properly, but we usually do that in our premarital course, so something you'd have to pay for. But I can put something together, and then maybe I can share that with you. Another thing is when you're like easily offended. When everything just upsets you and you're just easily offended, and your partner cannot even joke with you or play around with you, it adds a lot of frustration in a relationship. Relationships are hard as it is. We don't need to add a lot of the stress. So have a lighter spirit. Don't be heavy all the time. Don't let everything always upset you. Someone steps on your toe, you're like, yeah, I saw you were planning to step on my toe since yesterday. You did it again yesterday. Just laugh it off. Someone steps on your toe, you're like, step on their toe back and play a game of stepping on each other's toes, or just laugh it off. Or when somebody says, if you're not the laughing type, if somebody says they're sorry, accept it, and we move on. Like, you don't have to make a scene. You don't have to be like, oh my gosh, you stepped on my toe, so you don't love me anymore, I want to leave. No, that's not how we do this. We just take it easy, have a light heart, have a light spirit. If you feel like you get offended a lot, incorporate in your system and in your life more laughter and more relaxing stuff. That will help calm you down, and then you won't you won't lose your mind over things that are not worth losing your sanity over, right? Okay, so when somebody apologizes, accept the apology. I mean, there are people that need ceremonies to be performed for them to be accepting an apology. It's not necessary to put that much pressure on somebody. If someone says they're genuinely sorry, that means they're genuinely sorry. And it's more hurtful to tell somebody that you don't mean your apology, then you want them to break the bank to buy you expensive gifts and all of that. That's toxic. Just accept and I'm sorry. Life is worth living. Rather invest the rest of the time in loving each other more and spending more time together. You don't need to force someone to have a whole apology ceremony and be like, oh, wow, my queen, I apologize, and here's a car, or here's like $38,000, whatever. Just no, it's it's not necessary, man. Another thing is also making your partner feel like they're not enough. People communicate differently in terms of their love languages, right? So there are people that would rather buy you a gift to show you that they love you, or rather spend time with you to show you that they love you, rather than holding you a lot all the time, or loving you in the way that you want to be loved. So think about it, read up on the 5 love languages. So maybe your partner loves you in a different way and you feel unloved because they don't love you in the way that you expect to be loved. So I think it's very important that you don't make your partner feel useless or make them feel like what they're doing isn't enough and that they should always be doing better, because that demoralizes somebody and that can take away a lot from somebody. And you'll just see that, when you do that to somebody, they don't feel like stepping up anymore. They don't feel like putting effort in the relationship anymore, because whatever they do is not appreciated. So that's the thing that I'm coming to. Appreciate your partner, make them feel appreciated, make them feel like they really have a place in this relationship and that they really belong there, and that this is the safest place for them and there's no better place out there. So it's important to make your partner feel safe, right? Another thing is like different personal values. So if you believe in different things, first of all, you shouldn't be married to somebody that you have a different where your personal values like are conflicting. It's very important that things like, if you believe in loyalty, kindness, humility, and your partner believes in being proud and ruthless and rough and robbing people, then it's not going to work out. That's an extreme example, but you find people and they actually tell you, oh, opposites attract. No, compatibility attracts. So it's very important that you figure out your different personal values, and then you make sure that they don't clash. That's an issue. That's a major issue. Another thing is also outside influence. Limit and manage the amount of people that speak into your relationship and speak onto your life and in your relationship, because that can cause and stir conflict. Sometimes people don't see your spouse the way you see them, or sometimes people don't see your partner the way you see them, and they can feel and add a lot of negative stuff. And when you come home to your partner, you see them in a different light. So make sure that you always see with the eye that you first saw your partner with, that first time that made you want to connect with him. See your partner with that eye, and limit the negativity that spills over into your relationship from outside parties. Another thing is insecurity. I wrote about this on my Instagram post. Insecurities is a huge thing. I'll leave the link in my description so you can follow me on Instagram and also see what I wrote on insecurities. Insecurities are so loud. Insecurities spill over so much into the relationship, and a lot of people that have major insecurities have actually a lot of failed relationships, because insecurity says, I don't care what you tell me, I don't care what you say, I don't care whether it's true or not. My insecurities are so much louder, because my insecurities are telling me that you're lying to me and that you don't really love me and you're wasting my time and you're using me, because that has happened to me in the past. So I'm not secure in this relationship and where I am. And so that's louder than somebody actually wanting to love you and wanting to treat you like a queen, and you feel like, oh, I don't deserve this because of what has happened to you in the past. Then that's definitely an issue, and you definitely need to see someone about that. Go for therapy and get healing, because the more insecurities you have, the less healthy relationships you can have. Insecurities destroy relationships and they cause cracks, and you can break down somebody in as much as you break down yourself in your relationship. The issue of mistrust is obviously a big thing. There's no way I can have this video without talking about the issue of trust. Trust is a huge thing. You've got no business being with someone that you don't trust. I will say that. You've got no business being with someone that you don't trust, because why? Why are you together? Like, a romantic relationship is so deep. Marriage is so deep. Like, you are with somebody, you share your whole life with somebody, and you don't trust them. Why are you there? Why are you hurting yourself? Why are you hurting them? Why are you hurting families? Like, why are you there, bruh? Like, get out. Okay, let me not tell you what to do, but you've got no business. I'm telling you, it's a major thing, and that needs to stop. So, yeah. Obviously, like I always say, this list is not exhaustive, but if you recognize yourself here, make sure that you get the necessary help that you need before your relationship completely dies. And make sure that you are gentle with yourself and know that you can improve, and that everybody has weaknesses. Nobody is perfect. It's all about managing the weaknesses, balancing them out versus your strengths, and making sure that you and your partner are compatible when you look at your strengths and your weaknesses and your partner's strengths and weaknesses, and see how that is balanced out across the equation. So I hope I helped you. I hope you understood at least something. Comment and let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if it's helpful. Let me know what more you want me to talk about. Comment something. Comment lots of hearts and lots of kisses and lots of hugs. I'm in the mood for love today, and I want to give that love back. So let's love one another. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'm with you, and I will definitely see you next time in my next video. Ciao.